We should have got like a mic or something.
Welcome to the Spice of 3. I'm your host, Brian.
I'm your co-host, Mark.
And I'm your other co-host, Marita.
And all together, we are
the
Spice of 3. Okay, before anything, how are you guys feeling today?
I'm doing good. What about you, Marita?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. What about you, Brian?
I'm doing good. I cannot complain, But let's get into today's topic.
Yeah.
Right.
So today, we're just going to be talking about how the culture movements like the Harlem Renaissance connect to the novel Their Eyes Are Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston.
That's pretty funny because didn't we just finish this book, Their Eyes Are Watching God? Well, finish the book, Their Eyes Are Watching God. Well, first, what do you guys think of the book?
It was very good and interesting.
Yeah, it really reminded me a lot of culture movements during the Harlem Renaissance. Speaking of the Harlem Renaissance, Mark, how do you feel about movements like the Harlem Renaissance and reflect and shape people's beliefs?
Well, what I think is that people used art, music, and fashion to express who they were. To help them show pride in their culture and even themselves.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it gave them a way to speak up and be seen. It was more than just art to them and meant something.
Oh, really? What do you mean by speak up?
Like show the world who they are, where they came from, and what they believe in. For example, Langston Hughes once said, "I swear the Lord, I still can't see why democracy means everybody but me." This quote really shows how artists use their voices to fight for equality.
Wow. I really didn't think of that, but that makes sense. Movements like the Harlem Renaissance really helped people feel proud of themselves, and it really did help them find their voices during this time.
You're right. I agree. Like it really made people feel stronger and more confident who they were. Not only by like showing or expressing themselves, but by letting their true inner selves show, finding themselves, just how the character Jamie from the book Their Eyes Are Watching God found herself later and later in the book.
Yeah, it gave people hope and showed that their voices mattered.
Okay. I really did like that. But now let's talk about how the author Zora Neale Hurston and her book Their Eyes Are Watching God. She was a part of the Harlem Renaissance, but her work is a little bit different from every other writer's. How was it different?
Yeah, I agree. It was very different. Like most writers back then talked about racism, but instead she wrote more about finding yourself and your voice. Just how I talked about before with Janie's character.
Yeah, Janie, her main character, wanted to live a life figured of who she is.
Right, yeah. I mean, it's okay to mess up our words, but one of the lines from the book says that she was full of all this human longing, self-revelation, and she just means that her character Janie just wanted to understand herself during these times.
Yeah, and again, Marita, it's okay that you said it. Yeah, and she showed black culture and used the way people really spoke, but she didn't just focus on the pain and racism.
Her story was about love, strength, joy, and not just struggle.
I really agree with you guys. Right, but yeah, that's right. Her work is both a part of the Harlem Renaissance and different from it. Her work did fit in, but it also stood out, which isn't a bad thing. I just think it's a really good thing.
Yeah, like I said, I really do agree. Exactly. Her work was still about representation, but she did it differently from the rest.
Okay.
It shows that even they're in the same movement, but each writer has their own story.
Exactly, and I think we really have a really good nice talk. But that's all for today's episode of the Spice of 3. I just want to give a quick shout out to one of our dearest friends, Daniel Main. If you're out there listening to this, just know we miss you.
We definitely do miss you. Danny Main sadly graduated recently and now has a wife and 3 kids, 2 baby mamas, now in child support debt with his first baby mom. But stay safe, Danny. Stay safe.
We all miss you, Danny.
Miss you.
And thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Toodaloo. This has been the Spice of 3.